Hey everyone, this is Lewie coming at you again. Since the last video, a lot's happened. Bear with me while I adjust my camera. A lot's happened. In fact, 10 minutes after I uploaded the last one to YouTube, Mike Bloomberg dropped out of the race. But don't count him out. He's not out. He's just out of the race itself. What he's doing is he's taking his money and he's going to throw it all into Joe Biden. That's what he's doing. It's a waste of money for him. And I firmly believe that if he wants to waste his money that bad, he could just write me a check, send it to me, and call it a day. I'd be happy with that. And quite frankly, I think it'd be more fair to anybody that wants to run for president now and in the future. However, this is Michael Bloomberg. He's not the happiest little Mike around, and he's not going to be. Then Elizabeth Warren dropped out. Now, Elizabeth Warren hasn't, as far as I know, I mean, it could have changed and I missed it, but Elizabeth Warren has yet to endorse anyone, whether it be Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders. I don't know which one she's going to endorse, if she's even going to endorse anyone. She may just say, forget it. I'm not doing it. So that leaves us with Creepy Sleepy Joe and Burning Bernie Sanders. Now the thing is, I don't think Biden's going to make it through till November, and I'll tell you why. He's made a lot of errors. Okay. I call them lies in most cases, not all cases. One of the errors he's made was he introduced himself as the Democrat running for the Senate, and he's running for president. Another time he said that he was happy to be in Vermont when he was actually in New Hampshire. And then on Super Tuesday, after all the votes were counted and it was declared that he was the overall winner, he introduced his sister as his wife as his sister, and then claimed that they switched places on him, when in fact they hadn't switched places on him. The one was to his right and the other was to his left, exactly how they were standing when he stepped up to the podium. So I have a feeling Creepy Sleepy Joe is going to end up being diagnosed with some kind of mental impairment, like dementia or Alzheimer's or something along those lines. As unfortunate as that may be, I hate to see anybody go away that way. However, if that happens, that's going to leave Bernie Sanders getting the nomination, regardless of where he is with the nominations. So basically, Bernie could be handed the nomination just based on the fact that Joe Biden's not qualified any longer. The thing about Bernie Sanders is he's a strong candidate. He's a strong, he's going to be a strong, tough candidate to beat, I think. Not because he has quite the following. I mean, that's a part of it. But the following he has are all looking at all this free stuff that he's offering. Free education, free healthcare, free this, free that. What they're not taking into consideration is someone's got to foot that bill, because just because it's called free doesn't actually mean it's free. Somebody has to foot the bill for it. In which case that goes to the individuals who are working. The problem is when you increase taxes, whether it be on the upper 1%, upper 10%, whatever, the bill gets passed down to the consumer. For example, say, let's come up with a company here. We'll say Ford, because that's a very well-known company. But say he decides to increase the capital gains tax on Ford, or he decides to increase tax on the income of everybody of all the upper echelon in Ford, or just increase the taxes. Well, those taxes would get passed down to anybody that buys a Ford. So what's going to happen is no one's going to buy a Ford. No one's going to buy a new car. They're going to try and keep their vehicles running as long as possible so they don't have to pay the tax. So what happens is the employees at Ford will be laid off and or fired, whichever the case may be. And the company is going to slowly go out of business. As long as Bernie Sanders is in charge, that's what's going to happen. And it isn't going to be just one company. It's going to be all companies. And they're going to have layoffs, and people are going to be unemployed. And the more people are unemployed, the higher the taxes are going to be for those who are still remain employed. until eventually they're unemployed. Okay? What happens with that is there's going to be nobody paying the bill. Well, once it gets to that point where no one's paying the bill, your debt's going to go up. It's going to go higher and higher and higher. It's already going to go up just because he's giving all this free stuff out, but it's going to get worse because somebody's got to fund it. So they're going to go to China and borrow money. They're going to go to Russia and whoever else they can go to borrow money. And our debt's going to go up. And eventually what's going to happen is you're going to have the fall of the United States. Just like they had a fall in communism, they're going to have a fall of capitalism. But it won't be capitalism anymore because it'll be socialism or communism. But they're going to call it capitalism because that's what we're famous for, even though we ain't going to be a capitalistic government or capitalistic country anymore. See where their dilemma is? And the thing about socialists and communists, you don't own anything. Okay? In a communist country, if you own 2 cows, they're going to take your 2 cows. In a socialist country, if you own 2 cows, you got to give 1. In anarchy, they're going to take your cows. You see how that works? It's just complete, utter loss of ownership of anything. Now, I can't speak for everybody, but of the people that I know, some of them don't have a lot, but everything they've got, they worked for. Everything I've got, I've worked for. The truck that I'm sitting in, I worked for that. I didn't steal it, and I didn't expect somebody to give it to me. I actually worked for it. I knew what I wanted, and I went and I got it because I was working for it. The land that I got, I worked for that. I still am working for it. I'm still paying it off. My home, I've been in it for 15 years. I worked for that. I'm still paying it off. I'm still working for that. But it isn't like I took it from somebody. It isn't like it was given to me. I worked for it. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you look around to these homeowners that you see, these people with vehicles, they're going to tell you the same thing. Chances are they're going to say, it wasn't given to me. I worked for it. The thing is with this education, free education, woohoo, that sounds great on paper, but someone's got to pay for it. Because I'm going to tell you right now, your professors aren't going to work for free. Especially if they're going to get taxed on their income even higher than what they're already being taxed. They're not going to work for free. So someone's got to pay them. And quite frankly, I'm not college educated. I chose not to go to college. And there were several reasons behind it. But one of the reasons was I didn't want the debt. I wanted to be as debt-free as possible for as long as possible in my life. And I was. And right now I am in debt. I owe on my house. I owe on this. I owe on that. But you know what? I'm working to pay it off. No one's offering to buy it for me. No one's offering to give it to me for free. I'm not going to ask anyone to. That's not how this works. I have what's called pride. Okay? Pride does not allow you to get things for free. Pride says, I'm going to work for it. It doesn't belong to me until I pay for it. And if anybody had any kind of self-discipline, self-reliance, self-loyalty, and I mean, there's another word. I'm trying to find it. I can't think of it. But basically, you understand what I'm getting at. If you have that, you don't want the stuff given to you. You want to earn it. Because then you can claim it to be yours. And nobody can come and take it away from you. As long as you earned it. If it's given to you, somebody can come back and take it from you eventually. Okay? And that's the problem. And these people want things given to them. All right? And I'm going to tell you something else. We have a hard enough time getting our college kids to study, okay? Yes, they carry high grade point averages, but they also do a lot of partying. Can you imagine if they're getting their education absolutely for free, what would happen? We would no longer be any kind of leader in this world because everybody that gets graduated from college would have an excuse as to why they should pass, even though they're failing. And we'll have some of the dumbest sons of bitches coming out of our education system. We already don't have the smartest. If we did, Bernie Sanders would not be running for president at this point in time. That's just my thought. You think about it. You decide what you think. Have a good day.